Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Lange House.
Welcome.
I am here today with Ahava Emunah Lange, and some of you may know about Ahava and her story. Some of you may not know, but this is an important story. Ahava is one of the good ones. There are plenty of different type of people in humankind. Not everyone good. Ahava is one of the good ones, and I know there are plenty of people who are inspired by her story, which we'll hear in a minute. But basically, for those who are not familiar, Ahava is going through stage 4 ovarian cancer that she has been experiencing for
going on 7 years.
Going on 7 years, and I'm not an expert. I don't know a lot about it, but from what I do know, that Baruch Hashem, you are where you are.
Baruch Hashem for every day.
Baruch Hashem for every day. And you get treatment. I'm just giving the background, then we'll go into the details. And right now she's going for a very special treatment in Turkey once every 2 weeks. Not easy, very expensive. So I'm going to be putting the link here. Actually, Dave, can you comment and write a link, put the link already in the comments? So Dave's already going to be putting the comments with the link right now. So anyone who can please support, the link will be right there. Because one, we want her to live, and we want to continue being inspired by her spirit alive with us as long as possible. So Ahava, how are you?
Well, I always say Baruch Hashem because for each and every one of us, we're not exactly on the same plane equally, because I obviously have a higher risk, being that I already have cancer and I'm sick. And I'm trying to get rid of this disease that's eating away at me. But rockets fall and hit houses here in Israel. There are car accidents, probably that's like the number one killer of humans. Everybody who is alive and breathing, amen, every day has a gift. And we live in denial. I believe that we live in denial about our mortality. And if we didn't live in denial, we'd basically be sitting Shiva every day, because we'd be so sad about our impending death, God forbid, or the impending death of our loved ones. So for the most part, I mean, obviously I have days where I cry a lot and I think, what if, and how much longer do I have? Is my life going to be shorter? I don't know, because everything is in God's hands. And living with that truth, I believe that is the truth. That is everyone's truth, is how much longer do you have to be with your family on this earth, in this body. And for me, it's just that much more real. So
listen, the most important message you're giving over right now, and which I believe so many Jews, because I'm about to talk about something Jewish, but obviously non-Jews as well, take for granted, is the Moda'ani prayer. Like, we wake up, we have a prayer every morning where we say, thank you, God, for returning our soul to our body.
Exactly.
Meaning we're not supposed to take life for granted. Right. Just the fact that our soul returned to us after sleeping at night, where in a sense our soul is a little disconnected. So unfortunately, you're in a place where you feel that gratitude that much more so than everyone else, because you're living it. But that's a message for everyone. Don't waste any moments and say thank you. Absolutely. And be grateful for every moment you have.
And I feel that more, especially my children have pretty much grown up with this. Wow. Our eldest is 17, and Baruch Hashem, we have 5 kids, and our youngest is 9. So she was 2.5 when I was diagnosed. And growing up with a mother who is not always able to be there like all the other mothers are, like when it comes to school things, or, I've been through chemotherapy so many times. And when you're in chemotherapy, that's what makes you sick, not the actual cancer. Until recently, I did not actually feel the cancer making me sick. But this last year it got really bad, and that's why I started going to Turkey. But before that, it was really the treatments that made me feel so sick and not able to run with my kids and play with them the way I used to. I was always very, and I still am as much as possible, a very involved mother, very hands-on, stay-at-home mom. And so not being able to do everything that I want to do is difficult.
So I'm glad you went there, because I mean, I want to come back to Turkey and going through your sickness, but I want to give this also the opportunity for people to know, who is Ahava Emunah Lange? Like, okay, yes, you have a sickness, but who are you? What makes you tick, Ahava? Who are you? What's important for people to know about you?
Wow, that's a hard question to ask a person. I think if I'm going to define myself and keep it short, the Wikipedia version. I'm a happy person. I've always been happy my whole life, and I want to live with happiness. I don't want to be a sad person. I don't want people to pity me. So I think I've earned my smile wrinkles. And
no, you always have a smile.
And I try to also pass that on to my children, to be happy people. That your goal in life is to achieve happiness through living a good life. And that's, doing chesed, doing kindness, being a kind person, being caring for other people, and caring less about the angry things and the negative things it automatically makes you a happy person. If you focus all the time on, this one didn't invite me to this bar mitzvah, and this one snubbed me in the supermarket, and and this one didn't say hello to me when I was walking down the street. All of those things build up, and they push you down further and further, and just make you a miserable person, basically marinating in this acid that that people ask me, how could you still be happy? How are you still smiling? And yes, I admit that I am sometimes sad. I'm not going to lie and be a fake.
You are human.
But I'm human, yes. And when I cry and when I'm sad, I'm more sad for other people. Like, I worry about my children. Like, God forbid if I'm not here for them.
Right.
Of course, I think now a little bit of jealousy has also crept in for me. Like, chas v'shalom, if God forbid if I'm not here, like, that I'm going to miss out on things that other people will get to enjoy, my children. And like that, for me, like, that makes me cry. Like, the thought of missing out on my children, because they're mine. Like, I made them. I should get to see them. But everything is in God's hands, and I don't fear death. I'm not afraid of dying. Nobody wants to die, and it's our mitzvah and it's our duty as human beings to hold on to life to the very last breath. And I've, in everything that I've read, in every shiur that I've listened to or watched, that's the message that I've learned, that in Judaism we are meant to hold on to.
Yeah, right.
Absolutely.
And live by them.
Yes.
Sanctify
even
life.
with suffering, because there's reasons we don't know what I have no idea why I was chosen to carry this gene that's made me have this terrible cancer. But I was chosen. And when I say chosen, nothing is random. God doesn't just, throw out, a bunch of cards and say catch, and then, okay, here's your life. I think that, that Hashem is very specific in tafkidim, in
the roles.
In the roles, that we each receive. So I have come to see myself as a vessel, and to understand that I'm God's vessel, and that has helped me have a very close relationship with Hashem.
That is so hard for a regular person going through regular life, and the regular, I'm going to just say it like that, the regular stupid challenges and hardships we go through on a daily basis, just with living and having a family and marriage and sickness. But to hear you say it, knowing your situation, that's really deep that you're able to hold on to that.
Well, thank God every day for faith, for Emunah. And we were discussing this a little bit before, how I changed my name when I had my first recurrence. I changed my name to Ahava Emunah because I believe that those are the two things that I want to leave as a legacy, no matter what. May I live to 120. Amen. Those are the two things that I want to leave as a legacy. And I believe that if you live a true life of love, where you try to love everything that you're given and appreciate everything. Love is gratitude. Love is being thankful. Love is appreciation. It's not only, it's romantic also. It's loving your children. It's loving your spouse. It's loving, to go to the beach and see this amazing sea that I just love the beach. And when I go there, I feel very connected to Hashem, to God at the beach. So that's what love is to me. And faith is believing that everything happens for a reason. And I don't get into that argument with people. I know that for some people it's very difficult, especially people who have gone through losses of their own and tragedies of their own. People talk about, and then they can ask about the Shoah, the Holocaust, and things like that. And I don't go there. I don't go there because I don't know. There are many places I don't go because I'm not God. I'm not a Rabbanit. I'm not anybody. I'm just this little grain of sand. We're all grains of sand. We're all stars in the sky, right? That's what we're supposed. That's what we're supposed to be. And so.
Yeah, but wait, I have to stop you. You're a grain of sand that's allowed yourself to develop to be blown up glass. How's that? Good.
As long as I don't cut anybody.
You haven't let yourself. No, it's beautiful. Blown glass. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I love
beautiful.
Oh my gosh, sea glass. I am obsessed with sea glass.
I don't even know what that is.
So when I go to the beach, so on the sand, amongst all the beautiful seashells, you see glass that has been broken.
Really?
And over time, the sand.
Oh, it smooths it out. I mean, it's like real glass.
I have containers and containers and containers.
Yeah.
Sea glass that I've collected. Some are more precious than others. Like to find like a blue color hue of sea glass is like finding a diamond. Whereas finding like a green or brown, those are like, that's Maccabi and Gold Star. Those are more common. But the blue.
Talking about the beer bottles.
Yeah, the beer bottles.
The glass
but then the Bartanura, that's rare. The blue.
That's right, the blue glass. No, but I'm trying to make a serious point. Meaning, yes, we're all the pieces of sand on an equal level, but with everything you're going through, you haven't allowed yourself to be normal. You haven't allowed yourself to just be taken down by life and the challenges that God has put in front of you. And you've made your soul that much more, and you've made a choice, and you've made your soul that much more beautiful into
I say juicy.
Glass. Juicy.
Yeah, I compare the soul to a fruit, and this started a long time ago when I was trying to explain what I was feeling. What is happiness? Because we all have a soul. Everybody has one. We know that. But when we're born, maybe you're born with a raisin, and it's up to us what we do with that. We can leave it a raisin, or we can develop it, and the juicier it gets, the bigger it gets. And the goal, what's the juiciest fruit of all, is a watermelon. So I say that's my goal, is to have a soul that's like a juicy, sweet watermelon, full of juice, just from souls interacting with each other hopefully my soul has interacted with other souls in a positive way,
Right.
that will allow, because eventually, I mean, we're here on this earth for such a short time, really.
Right.
And our next stage is the afterlife. And I absolutely 100% believe and know beyond a doubt that this is the beginning. And this is the place where we have, you know, the physical body, where we're able to do mitzvot, we're able to do kindness, we're able to do things because we have a body. Our soul.
Who says you're not a Rebbitzin?
No, I'm not. That would be too much responsibility. Way too much responsibility.
She's the non-responsible Rebbitzin that people can listen to and be inspired by.
Reckless.
Yes, I'm sorry.
The reckless Rebbitzin.
The reckless Rebbitzin. Yeah.
So now my chemo brain has now forgotten.
Oh man, I'm sorry. I messed you. I messed you up.
I got off my.
I try to be good at this. Right? My wife trained me to try to be good at this. Always try to remember to come back to where I missed.
Well, we talked about fruit.
Yes, you want to be a watermelon.
And I want to be a watermelon. And then you called me Rebbitzin, and that really threw me off.
Wow.
No name calling in this house.
All right, so let me ask you the following question, okay? I'm a huge believer in I'm not a medical person, but in the medical sphere, the understanding that one's psyche has an impact on their physical well-being and physical health as well. Mm-hmm. How do you explain how your positive attitude and your happy attitude has assisted you in 6 years of this disease?
Yeah, it's pure. I mean, I just have pure gratitude. That's where the love comes in. I mean, I just have pure gratitude because there's so many people who have the same picture, the same, disease cycle picture, and they don't merit, the years that I have. But then again, there are those who were cured the first time they went through chemotherapy. So that, they were luckier than I in that way. I tried to focus on the things that I was given, not the things that I wasn't given. And I have to, once again, admit now that the disease, when it got really bad about over a half a year ago, before I started going to Turkey, when we were like, okay, this is it. This is. I had the look of a dying person. Everyone who, I didn't realize it until afterwards, until people told me, when I started to look better from
you look great
treatments. But before that, before the treatments, I looked like I was going out, on my way out. And so I'm just so thankful now my quality of life is not the same that it was even a year or two ago. But it just makes me more thankful and grateful that I am here. And each milestone, each, bat mitzvah, bar mitzvah, it's a gift. And I have to focus on that.
Right.
I have no choice. Otherwise, I wouldn't sleep at night. I would just be, crying and sad. And
we should all be blessed with your temperament and focus on gratitude, because that it's a secret elixir. It's not the secret to life, but it's a secret elixir to be able to go through the day to day. So tell us about this treatment. What is special about this treatment you found in Turkey?
So when my parents realized that I was heading out the door for real, they scoured the earth, and mostly my dad just zeroed in on this particular treatment, which it uses conventional chemotherapy. So I am on conventional chemotherapy. It's delivered in a different way. They focus a lot on blood sugar and on your insulin response, and not eating sugar, not feeding the body with glucose, not feeding the body with grains, things that can feed cells like cancer cells that are less that are considered less intelligent, less developed cells, that they can't survive without the sugar. If you were to fast for 48 hours, your healthy cells would still survive, but the sick cells would not.
Oh, really?
It's not, and I'm not a scientist, so I can't say as an exact science. There are some papers that are going to be coming out soon from this clinic. They're very hush-hush about it. They don't, they're, you know, everyone is ready to attack them because it's just like with diet, right? Like we had this whole pyramid of, you know, you're supposed to eat grains and a lot of it, and everything is turned upside down now. Now we're saying, no, you're not supposed to eat a lot of grains. You should eat protein. You should eat fat. You should eat. So the medical world doesn't like to be told, you know, the old timers, they don't like to be told, oh, you're wrong.
Oh, everything's changed. Yeah. Now it's good to eat eggs. Now it's horrible to eat eggs. No. Now it's good to eat eggs again. Like everything, they're always changing their minds. What's healthy, what's not healthy.
So it's the same thing with oncology and the pharmaceutical world. You know, the pharmaceutical world is everything is based on money, and a diet isn't very, you know, you don't make a lot of money on that, and so they're threatening the entire pharmaceutical
Got
world.
it. So the pharmaceutical establishment and all the lobbies and all they're basically looking to attack. Because it threatens their
I think that is something that they're very concerned about, and so they hold back. They're hush hush. But the treatments that I'm getting are not, you know, crazy weird things that are, or even things that are particularly new. They use heat, which is a known thing that you know, tumors don't like heat. They use heat to destroy tumors with lasers and all kinds of, you know, and also with radiation. I mean, that's a known thing. Right. So they use heat, full body heat, raising the body temperature. They also use the hyperbaric oxygen tank.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, it's not great if you're claustrophobic, because it's kind of like that, you know, like it's like a coffin.
Oh,
like
taken
Michael
pictures.
Jackson.
You've taken pictures of being in that.
Yeah. It's very claustrophobic in there. But the way I deal with it is just, you know, by kind of getting inside my own head. You're allowed to take a phone or an iPad in there, so you can kind of, you know, check your email while you're inside there.
Let not just be yourself. Okay.
Yeah. Also, so the other treatments are, you know, antioxidants. They pump they protect the immune system with vitamin C and D, and they like really pump the body up with vitamins. And like I said, chemotherapy. I'm doing the same chemotherapy that I've done before, only it's delivered in a different way.
What does that mean?
So I fast the day before. So my blood sugar, they want my blood sugar to be as low as possible when they deliver the chemotherapy. And there's a whole thought process behind that, you know, then the cells are hungry, the cancer cells. So then that makes them gobble up the chemotherapy. It's delivered with glucose, with sugar, so that the cancer cells will go after it and eat it up. So it makes sense if you really take the time to read about it and read the studies and listen to the experts.
And this is the only place in the world that has this treatment.
Unfortunately. But the man behind it, who's really developed it, is Professor Thomas Seyfried. He's in Boston. And he's the one behind all of this, and he's the brain.
He's the brain, but the treatment is given in Turkey.
He's doing all the studies on all the mice and the rats and the...
And this is only for ovarian cancers?
No, it's
all
for
cancers.
All cancers. They have experienced... They're very, very successful at treating stage 4 cancers, advanced cancers. I've met countless people who arrived, with stories of, how they were half dead. They didn't think that they would make the flight. They came over from the States or wherever, and are now back on their feet. There are people who have they go into remission.
Yeah.
So that's really my hope, is that I'll be one of those people who
Please God.
Amen. Gets remission and continues on until the next thing comes along, because there's always, I've done so many different treatments, and I believe that, from treatment to treatment, this is keeping me alive.
And when you come home, from what David explained to me, this is every 2 weeks. You have to go for a treatment for a few days.
So I have a break of about 11 or 12 days, and then I have 2 consecutive weeks from Tuesday to Thursday where I'm in Turkey getting treatment. So like 3 full days of treatment. I come home for
11, 12 days.
For Shabbat.
Oh, for Shabbat.
And then I go back again Tuesday through Thursday.
Oh.
Come home, and then I have the break.
And then when you're home, you have a special diet that you have to.
Oh, I'm not one. It's a keto or ketogenic diet, however you choose to pronounce it. It's a diet that's void of sugar, grains, and legumes, and fruit, and root vegetables as well. Anything that can turn into sugar is pretty much off the menu. And
just going into geopolitics for a second, any weird feeling about going to Turkey every week or every 2 weeks?
I know. It's so in the beginning, I think, I didn't really feel so nervous, but definitely my family was nervous. My parents were nervous.
Right.
My dad is nervous. I can feel he's nervous. He doesn't like being in the, the idea of getting stuck in Turkey and Istanbul.
I've been in the airport.
Yeah.
Right, because beautiful airport.
Well, they're closing it. It's
no.
As of April 6th, that airport is closed, and there's a new airport that's opening up, which we're nervous about, because we're worried that it's about traffic and about the distance from the clinic, that's going to take longer. We're not sure. Right now, it's when things are new, they're disorganized. So
now, I remember there's only once when the family went abroad for, I think, a family simcha, and we were stuck in the airport overnight. We just had to sleep. No, meaning our connecting flight.
Yeah.
We had to just find a bench to each sleep on for 4 or 5 hours.
Wow.
During the night. But so that was my Istanbul airport experience. But I definitely did not feel at home. It was not Ben Gurion Airport.
No, I am always so excited when I get home. When I'm back in Israel, there's nothing like it. I mean, the way people treat us, they remember us, because we travel so much.
Right,
so they remember us, and they welcome us, and they're just so helpful. I come back, I'm feeling very sick from the chemo and very weak, and they're so gentle with me and very caring. And I wish I didn't have to leave, to go abroad for treatment.
Right.
I mean, we know that the Israeli healthcare system is awesome, and they just don't have. I mean, nobody has this treatment except Turkey. So,
how hard it is? I mean, again, how hard is it for doctors in Israel to bring this treatment here?
I know there just isn't the readiness to.
Is it because of an open-mindedness towards a different type of way of treating?
I think so. It's and in order to get something approved, it takes years. You'll remember, maybe about a month ago, an article came out. Oh, within a year, we're going to cure cancer. It came from.
Yes.
And as soon as I heard that, and everyone was sharing that article and sending it to me, and I'm just like, I know how things work.
Yeah.
With the pharmaceutical companies, you have to. It takes at least 10 years for a drug to be approved. It has to go through phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and until something is approved to be used on a human being, it takes a long time. So I think that's the issue here.
Well, for everyone who has joined, and if you know Ahava Emunah, if you're just meeting her, first of all, continuing the treatments in Turkey. David, her husband, posted a link in the comment below. I'm going to post it in the post. Please, there's a GoFundMe page. Anyone who can donate whatever you can to assist. Very expensive treatments. We want to keep this inspiring spirit alive with us until 120 for her great-grandchildren to enjoy and live from, and for every one of us to continue to be inspired. So please go to that link, and any assistance you're able to give. Any other important words you want to share with us?
Thank you so much for making my story heard and for making my story important.
Listen, first of all, I think you do a wonderful job yourself. I mean, I don't know how hard it was for you to make that switch in your head to go public, whether it was just natural or you decided, okay.
It was from day one, because I wanted the tefillah. I wanted people to daven and pray for me, and I know that prayers work.
Help.
I know, and I feel that I'm also an example of that, because there have been so many prayer groups, and there are so many ongoing Tehillim groups, and just join these amazing prayer groups that daven for me every single day. That has to be helping me stay alive when thousands of people are praying for me every single day. And I knew if I was secretive about it, first of all, there's no shame in being sick.
Good for you. Not everyone feels that way. Just that's a huge stumbling block for so many people, and you were able to just jump over it.
And I want, if I can help even one person with my story, then, because I am BRCA1 positive. I don't know what's that mean. So it's a genetic mutation.
Okay.
And 1 in 40 Ashkenazim carry this mutation.
And that's not so small.
No, it's huge. And that increases the risk of breast, ovarian, and prostate cancer, for the most part, but also other cancers. But the main ones are breast and ovarian, and then prostate for BRCA2 more than BRCA1. And it's really important that people get themselves checked, and if there's a family history of cancer on either side of the family, don't think that just because the cancer, breast cancer on the father's side doesn't mean that you're not going to inherit that, because I inherited this gene from my father, and his mother died at a young age from breast cancer, and so it can only be assumed that she had this mutation and passed it down to my dad.
Wow.
And he had stage 4 colon cancer. Baruch Hashem, he's a survivor, and unfortunately, I had the mutation, which made my risk huge, and I ended up with,
Right. No, I mean, it is very scary, because you hear a lot of people, cancer nowadays in its different forms, you hear it a lot from a lot of people. I know my mother had breast cancer, and she's a survivor, thank God. I mean, remission, thank God, been for a while. So it's something definitely each and everybody. I mean, halavai, that case should be true, that yes, they found the cure for cancer, because it's right. So,
they will eventually. There has to be, just like there will be a cure someday.
Right.
Right. And I hope that I merit to be around for it.
And I hope we merit as well. And again, just for those who are just coming in, Ahava Emunah changed her name to Ahava Emunah because she is such a believer, and she lives her life by what those names mean. Ahava meaning love, Emunah meaning faith. And thank you so much for being an inspiration for so many. That's not why you're sick.
No.
But it is rare to find a person going through the hardship and the pain and the struggle, the personal struggle, and yet have the strength to also be an inspiration to others. So thank you for putting yourself out there in such a way. Say it's about being selfish for yourself to get the prayers, no problem. Everyone pray, pray. But it's also saying thank you to you for bringing everyone else in, so others can have the strength, hopefully, to find that inner place, to find their place of happiness, to assist them in overcoming and be inspired by how you're helping yourself.
Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing my story.
it should be a healthy day, a healthy week, a healthy year, and continue to, and again, you continue to be looking healthy and feeling healthy and enjoying your children, enjoying your family. And everyone, I mean, and I'll just end with this. Everyone asks me, all right, what do you have to say? What's the word of the day? My grandfather used to say, what's the word of the day? My grandfather's no longer alive anymore. And what was his line? Health. That's it. Yeah. Everything else is a cherry on top.
Yeah, absolutely.
Health is the basic, and everything else is a cherry on top. So
without health, you have nothing.
Nothing. But and even when you don't have health, have the right attitude of being the attitude of gratitude, as they say.
Right.
So thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, and again, everyone.
Thank you, everybody, for your prayers.
Keep on praying, and the link is there. Okay, there's prayer and there's also donations. Both are needed and will be a huge, huge help. So David posted the link in the comments. I'm going to post the link in the post above. Whatever you can, please help out and continue to be inspired in following Ahava's story. And we'll continue watching her get healthier and healthier. Please, God. Take care, everyone. Thank you, Ahava. Shalom, everyone, from the ancestral homeland of the Jewish people. We are home, and it's wonderful to be inspired by fabulous people. Love meeting great people. Bye. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please click like and share so that as many people as possible can see this great information about Israel. If you're not yet following this page, please click follow and sign up for the newsletter.